TheJamies.net.
A major expansion project is continuing at Half Moon Cay that will soon provide a very different experience for many of the island's guests. We first saw the construction when we visited Half Moon Cay aboard the Holland America Koningsdam around the start of the new year. And we saw the progress being made more recently when we revisited the private island aboard the Carnival Sunshine in April 2026. In this video, we'll take another look at the construction, compare what's changed since our last visit, and show how the expansion project is continuing to take shape. Just a quick note that if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. It really helps our channel. And consider subscribing so you get alerted when we add new videos. In December 2024, Carnival Cruise Line and Holland America Line released a joint announcement outlining plans for a significant expansion at Half Moon Cay. The project includes a new pier at the future North Arrival Plaza and development extending north and northwest along the shoreline. When we visited the private island aboard the Koningsdam, we were able to see quite a bit of that early construction. So when we returned in April aboard the Sunshine, we took the same walk to see how much progress had been made toward the expansion of Relax Away Half Moon Cay. Just like our last visit, our ship anchored offshore and we took a water shuttle to the South Arrival Plaza since the new pier at the north end of the shoreline was still under construction. From the Arrival Plaza, we once again headed to the beach and walked north along the shoreline. Soon we came to the former home of the Captain Morgan on the Rocks Bar. During our last visit, the large pirate ship had already been removed and construction was beginning in its place. When we returned in April, there was noticeable progress being made. The structure had a much more defined shape, and we were able to see some of the interior details through the openings. Additionally, on the beach-facing side of the structure, a large outdoor deck area seemed to be taking shape. A bit farther along the shoreline, past the last few smaller cabanas, we once again came across an area of construction. During our last visit, the structures behind the temporary fencing closely resembled the thatch-roofed block building shown in the rendering that was included with the cruise line's announcement. When we returned in April, we were able to get a much better look at the building, and the crew working on the structure confirmed that it would be a restroom facility when it was completed. It's worth noting that we saw a water fountain with a water bottle refilling station mounted on the outside of the building, which will be very helpful for staying hydrated during visits to the beach. In addition to the restroom facility, there were several structures that were new to the area since our last visit, including roughly a dozen new shade structures, a thatched roof hut, and a smaller structure that was still in the early stages of having a concrete foundation prepared. Continuing past the island's horse stables, we headed toward the major North Shoreline construction. During our last visit, we were able to walk much farther along the shoreline in this area. When we returned in April, the northern section of the beach was clearly blocked off with additional fencing and signage, making sure that access to that area was now restricted. Because of that, we were not able to walk as far north along the shoreline as we had during our last visit. Even with the restricted access, we were still able to see that construction in the area was continuing to progress, with additional structures taking shape beyond the fencing. New, larger pavilion-style structures were being added in front of the buildings that were under construction during our last visit. Compared to the original rendering, some of the newer structures looked quite a bit more substantial and permanent than what was initially presented, which means the final design may continue to evolve as the construction continues. During our most recent visit in April, we also saw construction supervisors meeting in the area, which made it clear that active work was ongoing. At the northern end of the shoreline, we once again got a look at the North Arrival Plaza Pier. During our last visit, the pier structure appeared incomplete, with large sections that did not yet have a finished surface. When we returned in April, progress at the pier was a bit more subtle than in other areas, but it was noticeable if you looked closely. A larger portion of the pier appeared to have a completed surface, and construction equipment and supplies were now being staged on top of the structure. We also noticed what appeared to be light poles that had been installed on about half of the pier. Even with that progress, the pier was still clearly under construction and not yet in use. Based on our most recent visit, the overall plans for Half Moon Cay remain the same. Tendering is still expected to continue for ships arriving at the South Arrival Plaza, and the new pier at the North Arrival Plaza is being built to accommodate larger ships. Carnival and Holland America have not announced any change in the expected completion date, so the first phase of enhancements at the island should begin opening in summer 2026, with additional work continuing beyond that date.